The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Earthship as it approached the massive structure known as the Galactic Council headquarters. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her face a mask of determination. She knew what awaited them inside. More mockery, more dismissal, more of the same treatment humans had endured for the past decade since first contact. Ready for another round of humiliation, Captain? Her first officer, Jack Torres, asked with a bitter smile. Sarah sighed. We have to keep trying, Jack. One day, they'll see us for what we really are. As the ship docked, Sarah straightened her uniform and prepared herself mentally for the ordeal ahead. The crew of 10 that accompanied her all wore similar expressions of resignation mixed with stubborn pride. Inside the council chambers, hundreds of alien species gathered. Some looked almost human, while others were so strange that Sarah's mind struggled to make sense of their forms. The noise level dropped as the human delegation entered, replaced by whispers and barely concealed laughter. A tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms approached them, his face twisted in what passed for a smirk among his kind. Ah, the humans have arrived. How quaint. Did your primitive engines manage the journey without breaking down this time? Sarah bit back, a sharp retort. This was Zorax, ambassador of the Zorthians, and the most vocal critic of humanity's presence in galactic affairs. Our ship served us well, Ambassador Zorax. Thank you for your concern, she replied coolly. Zorax's smirk grew wider. Concern? Oh no, my dear Captain Chen. Merely curiosity. It's fascinating to watch such an underdeveloped species fumble its way through space travel, almost like watching infants learn to walk. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Sarah felt her cheeks burn, but she held her ground. We may be new to the galactic stage, Ambassador, but humanity has much to offer, if you'd only give us a chance. A chance? Zorax interrupted, his voice dripping with condescension. Your species still fights among itself over resources and imaginary lines on your planet's surface. You've barely mastered fusion power, and your understanding of quantum mechanics is laughable at best. What could you possibly offer to races that have been traveling the stars for millennia? Before Sarah could respond, a small, insect-like alien scuttled forward. The human speaks truth, Zorax. It chittered in a high-pitched voice. All races were young once. Perhaps we should listen. Zorax turned his attention to the insectoid. Ah, Sixtall, always the voice of misguided compassion. Very well, let's hear what grand insights our primitive friends have brought us today. Sarah took a deep breath and stepped forward. She activated a holographic display, showing images of Earth's recent advancements in medicine, environmental restoration, and social progress. As she spoke about humanity's achievements and potential contributions, she noticed a few of the gathered aliens leaning forward with interest. But Zorax was not to be swayed. He waved a dismissive hand, cutting off Sarah's presentation. Yes, very impressive, for a species barely out of its stone age. Tell me, humans, have you managed to create a unified planetary government yet? No. Then I'm afraid you're not ready for the responsibilities of full council membership. Murmurs of agreement swept through the chamber. Sarah felt her heart sink, but she refused to show defeat. We're making progress every day, Ambassador. Humanity's strength lies in our diversity and our ability to overcome challenges. Zorax laughed, a harsh sound that set Sarah's teeth on edge. Overcome challenges. Your species is a challenge, Captain Chen. A pity project for the truly advanced races to observe and occasionally assist out of misplaced pity. As the mocking laughter grew louder, Sarah noticed something strange. A group of aliens near the back of the chamber were huddled together, whispering urgently. One of them, a tall, silvery being, broke away and approached the central podium. Esteemed members of the council, the silver alien's voice rang out, silencing the laughter. We have just received a most unusual transmission, a distress signal, from a ship of unknown origin. Zorax frowned. And why should this concern us? Lost ships are not uncommon in the vastness of space. The silver alien's multifaceted eyes seemed to glitter with excitement. Because, Ambassador Zorax, the signal contains elements we've never seen before. Technology that surpasses even our most advanced systems. And it appears to be of human origin. A hush fell over the chamber. All eyes turned to Sarah and her team, who stood frozen in shock. Impossible, Zorax sputtered. These primitives couldn't possibly. But his words were drowned out by a sudden explosion of questions and exclamations from the gathered aliens. In the chaos, Sarah exchanged a bewildered look with Jack. What human ship could possibly be out there, beyond even the knowledge of Earth's governments? As the Galactic Council erupted into frenzied debate, Sarah felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps this mysterious signal would finally force the alien races to see humanity in a new light. Whatever lay behind this transmission, one thing was clear: the days of humans being the laughingstock of the galaxy were numbered. The stage was set for a revelation that would shake the very foundations of the intergalactic community, and humanity, long dismissed and mocked, stood at the center of it all. As the Galactic Council chambers erupted into chaos, Captain Sarah Chen and her team were quickly ushered into a private meeting room. The silver alien, who introduced himself as Sinva of the Luminar race, stood before them with an air of barely contained excitement. Captain Chen, Chinva began, his melodic voice tinged with curiosity. What can you tell us about Project Odyssey? Sarah exchanged confused glances with her crew. I'm sorry, but I've never heard of any Project Odyssey. Are you sure it's of human origin? Sinva's bioluminescent skin pulsed with surprise. Interesting. Our analysis of the distress signal is conclusive. The technology is far beyond current galactic standards, yet it bears unmistakable human design elements. Jack Torres, Sarah's first officer, stepped forward. With all due respect, that's impossible. If Earth had technology surpassing the galactic community, we wouldn't be treated like, well, he trailed off, not wanting to offend their host. Like primitive newcomers. Shinva finished, a hint of amusement in his multifaceted eyes. Perhaps there's more to your species than meets the eye. Let me show you something. He waved a slender appendage, and a holographic display flickered to life. It showed a sleek spacecraft, its design unlike anything the humans had ever seen. Yet there was something familiar about it. The proportions, the placement of viewports, subtle elements that whispered of human aesthetics. This image was reconstructed from the distress signal. Shinva explained. The ship appears to be at least 50 of your Earth years old, yet its technology is centuries ahead of anything in known space. Sarah's mind raced. 50 years ago, that would place the ship's origin in the mid-1970s, the height of the Cold War. Could it be possible that one of the superpowers had launched a secret space mission? As if reading her thoughts, an elderly member of her crew, Dr. Elena Volkov, gasped. Bozhe moi, I remember rumors, whispers from my days in the Soviet space program. There was talk of a secret project, a mission so ambitious it seemed like fantasy. All eyes turned to Elena. Sarah urged her to continue. They called it Project Odyssey, Elena said, her voice barely above a whisper. The goal was to send a self-sustaining ship deep into space, crewed by our brightest minds. They were to develop new technologies, search for alien life, and return only when they had achieved something truly revolutionary. Jack scoffed. That's impossible. A ship like that in the 70s. We could barely reach the moon. Elena shook her head. You don't understand. Both America and the Soviet Union poured unimaginable resources into their space programs. Most of it public, yes, but there were secret projects. Things even most high-ranking officials didn't know about. Sarah's mind whirled with the implications. If this was true, if humans had indeed launched such an advanced ship half a century ago, why didn't they ever return? She wondered aloud. Why didn't we ever hear about their discoveries? Sinva's skin rippled with patterns of light. Perhaps that is the mystery we must solve. The distress signal is garbled, but we've managed to pinpoint its origin to a system on the outer edges of known space. We have to investigate, Sarah said firmly. If there are humans out there, possibly in danger, we need to help them. I agree, Chinva nodded. But this situation is delicate. News of this ship could destabilize the entire galactic political structure. We need to proceed carefully. Just then, the door burst open. Ambassador Zorax stormed in, his forearms gesticulating wildly. What is the meaning of this? Private meetings with the humans. I demand to know what's going on. Sinva turned to the Zorthian, his voice calm but firm. Ambassador, I understand your concern, but I assure you, everything will be explained in due time. For now, I ask for your patience and discretion. Zorax's eyes narrowed as he looked from Sinva to the humans and back. Very well, but know this, the Zorthian Empire will not stand idly by while secret plots are hatched. As Zorax left, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The lost ship of Project Odyssey could change everything for humanity, but it could also spark an interstellar conflict if not handled carefully. What's our next move? She asked Sinve. The Luminar's skin glowed with a pattern that Sarah was beginning to recognize as determination. We prepare a mission. Your team, Captain Chen, will join a select group of our best scientists and explorers. You'll seek out this lost ship and uncover its secrets. As the humans and their new alien allies began to plan, none of them could have imagined the wonders and dangers that awaited them in the depths of space. The legacy of Project Odyssey was about to change the galaxy forever. The Zorthian exploration vessel, Galax Prime, glided silently through the inky blackness of space. Its sleek, purple hull gleamed under the light of distant stars. On the bridge, Commander Zexlor stood with his forearms crossed, all 6 of his eyes narrowed in concentration. Report, he barked at his science officer. The smaller Zorthian tapped rapidly on a holographic display. Sir, we're picking up an unusual energy signature from the nearby asteroid field. It doesn't match any known patterns in our database. Zexlor's antenna twitched with interest. Interesting. Perhaps we've stumbled upon a new energy source to exploit. Set a course for the source of the signature. As the Galax Prime maneuvered through the asteroid field, the energy readings grew stronger. Suddenly, a massive shape loomed before them, hidden in the shadow of a large asteroid. By the 7 moons of Zorthi, Zexlor gasped. What is that? Floating silently in space was a ship unlike any they had ever seen. Its design was sleek yet somehow primitive, a strange mix of advanced technology and what appeared to be outdated materials. Sir, the science officer called out, his voice trembling with excitement. You're not going to believe this, but the ship appears to be of human origin. Zexlor's laughter filled the bridge. Impossible. Those primitives couldn't have built something like this. Run the scans again. But the results remained the same. The mysterious ship was undoubtedly human in design, yet it possessed technology far beyond anything the Zorthians had encountered before. Sir, the ship appears to be dormant. No life signs detected. Should we board it? The tactical officer asked. Zexlor pondered for a moment. This could be the discovery of a lifetime. If the Zorthians could claim this advanced human technology as their own, it would shift the balance of power in the galaxy. Prepare a boarding party, he ordered. I'll lead it myself. Hours later, Zexlor and his team stood in the airlock of the human vessel. The ship's emergency systems had recognized their presence and pressurized the area, allowing them to enter without suits. As they stepped inside, lights flickered to life, illuminating corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly. The air was stale but breathable. It's like a ghost ship, one of the junior officers whispered. They made their way to what appeared to be the bridge. Zexlor's eyes widened as he took in the advanced control systems, holograms flickering to life as they entered. How is this possible? He muttered. This technology, it's beyond anything we possess. How could the humans have built this? The science officer was hunched over a console, his fingers flying across the alien interface. "Commander, you need to see this. According to the ship's log, this vessel was launched over 50 Earth years ago. It was part of something called Project Odyssey." Zexlor frowned. 50 years. But that's impossible. Human technology was primitive then. They had barely reached their own moon. As they delved deeper into the ship's databases, the Zorthians discovered groundbreaking advancements in propulsion, energy generation, and even medicine. There were star charts of regions unknown to the galactic community and detailed reports on alien species they had never encountered. "Sir," the tactical officer called out, his voice filled with awe, "I think I found something you should see." He pointed to a sealed door at the far end of the bridge. Above it, in faded English letters, was written, "Quantum Fold Drive." Zexler's hearts raced. A quantum fold drive was theoretical technology, something even the most advanced races had only dreamed of, if the humans had somehow created one. "Open it," he ordered. As the door slid open, a soft blue light bathed the Zorthians. Inside was a massive machine, pulsing with energy. It was the heart of the ship, a device capable of folding space itself. Zexler's mind reeled. With this technology, the humans could have explored further and faster than any other race. They could have built an empire spanning the galaxy. So why hadn't they? As if in answer to his unspoken question, a hologram flickered to life in the center of the room. It showed an elderly human, his face lined with worry. "This is Dr. Alan Chen, lead scientist of Project Odyssey." The hologram spoke. "If you are seeing this, then our mission has failed. We've made discoveries beyond our wildest dreams, but the cost has been too high. We cannot allow this technology to fall into the wrong hands. It must be destroyed, for the good of all." The hologram faded, leaving the Zorthians in stunned silence. Zexler's mind raced. He had a decision to make: report this discovery and change the galaxy forever, or respect the wishes of these surprisingly advanced humans and destroy the ship. As alarms began to blare throughout the vessel, Zexler realized the decision might be taken out of his hands entirely. The adventure was far from over. The Galactic Council chambers were in an uproar. News of the discovered human ship had spread like wildfire, igniting debates and raising tensions across the gathered alien races. At the center of it all stood Captain Sarah Chen and her team, their faces a mix of shock and pride. "Order. We will have order." The booming voice of the council president, a towering crystalline being named Xilthar, echoed through the chamber. Gradually, the chaos subsided into a tense silence. Xilthar's faceted eyes turned to the human delegation. "Captain Chen, in light of recent events, the Council demands an explanation. What is this Project Odyssey, and why has Earth hidden such advanced technology from the galactic community?" Sarah stepped forward, her heart pounding. She had spent the last few hours in emergency meetings with Earth's leaders, piecing together a history that had been buried for half a century. "Honorable members of the Council," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "what I'm about to share will change everything you thought you knew about humanity." She activated a holographic display, showing images of Earth in the 1970s. 50 years ago, at the height of what we called the Cold War, our world was divided. Two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, were locked in a silent conflict that threatened to destroy our entire planet. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Sarah continued, "But a small group of scientists and visionaries from both sides saw a different path. They believed that the only way to save humanity was to reach for the stars, to push the boundaries of our knowledge and technology beyond anything we had ever imagined." The display shifted, showing schematics of the Odyssey ship. In secret, pooling resources and brilliant minds from across the globe, they launched Project Odyssey. Its mission was to explore deep space, develop revolutionary technologies, and prepare humanity for its place among the stars. Ambassador Zorax scoffed loudly. "Preposterous. You expect us to believe that you primitives achieved such feats in secret half a century ago. Sarah turned to him, her eyes blazing. With all due respect, Ambassador, the evidence is undeniable. The Zorthian exploration team can confirm the age and origin of the ship they discovered. Commander Zexlor, still shaken from his encounter on the Odyssey ship, nodded reluctantly. It's true. The technology on that vessel, it surpasses even our current capabilities in many areas. A hush fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. Sarah pressed on. But Project Odyssey was not without its costs. The ship's logs reveal that as they pushed the boundaries of science, they made discoveries that terrified them. Technologies that, in the wrong hands, could devastate entire worlds. She paused, letting her words sink in. The crew of the Odyssey made a difficult decision. Rather than return to a divided Earth with technologies that could spark unimaginable conflict, they chose to continue their mission indefinitely. They would wait until humanity was ready, until we had overcome our differences and could use their discoveries responsibly. The holographic display showed the final log entry from Dr. Alan Chen. His weathered face looked out at the council as his message played. We have seen wonders beyond imagination and horrors that haunt our dreams. The cosmos is vast, filled with both beauty and danger. Humanity must unite and mature before it can take its place among the stars. Until then, we will watch and wait and hope. As the message ended, the chamber erupted into heated discussions. Some council members argued for immediate access to the Odyssey's technology, while others warned of the dangers it could pose. Xylthar raised a crystalline hand for silence. Captain Chen, your revelations are disturbing. If what you say is true, then humanity's position in the galactic community must be reassessed. But this raises many questions. How do you propose we proceed? Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment that would define humanity's future among the stars. We propose a joint mission, she said firmly. A team comprised of the brightest minds from Earth and representatives from the council races. Together, we'll study the Odyssey's discoveries, ensuring that this knowledge is used for the benefit of all, not just humanity. She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes, or equivalent sensory organs, of the gathered aliens. We've hidden in the shadows of the galaxy for too long. It's time for humanity to step into the light, to work alongside our cosmic neighbors towards a brighter future for all. The chamber buzzed with excitement and apprehension. As debates raged and alliances shifted, one thing became clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity, long dismissed as primitive newcomers, had suddenly become the key to unlocking the universe's deepest secrets. As Sarah and her team prepared for the challenges ahead, she couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and trepidation. The journey that began with Project Odyssey 50 years ago was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The massive hangar bay of the Galactic Council's research station buzzed with activity. Scientists from a dozen different species scurried about, their excited chatter filling the air. At the center of it all stood the Odyssey, its sleek form a testament to human ingenuity. Dr. Emily Zhao, Earth's leading expert in quantum physics, stood before a holographic display, her eyes wide with wonder. Beside her, Sinva of the Luminars manipulated the controls with his tendrils, bringing up new data streams. This is incredible, Emily breathed. The Odyssey's quantum fold drive doesn't just bend space-time, it weaves through it like a needle through fabric. Sinva's skin pulsed with patterns of excitement. Indeed, the implications are staggering. With this technology, we could reach the farthest corners of the universe in mere moments. Across the hangar, Jack Torres worked alongside a team of alien engineers, examining the Odyssey's propulsion systems. I don't believe it, he muttered, shaking his head in awe. This engine, it's drawing energy directly from the quantum vacuum. It's like an endless power source. The Zorthian engineer next to him, Vextor, grudgingly nodded in agreement. I hate to admit it, human, but your ancestors were truly brilliant. This technology is centuries ahead of anything we've developed. As the days passed, more secrets of the Odyssey were unveiled. The ship's medical bay contained cures for diseases that had plagued the galaxy for millennia. Its databanks held star charts of regions no known race had ever explored, along with detailed information on dozens of undiscovered alien species. But it wasn't all wonder and excitement. In a secure section of the research station, Captain Sarah Chen met with the Council's security team. The atmosphere was tense as they reviewed some of the Odyssey's more troubling discoveries. "These weapons," a reptilian security officer hissed, pointing to schematics on the screen. "They could destroy entire star systems. We cannot allow such power to fall into the wrong hands." Sarah nodded grimly. "I agree. The Odyssey's crew was right to keep this hidden. We need to ensure this knowledge is protected and used responsibly." As the joint research team delved deeper into the Odyssey's secrets, they began to uncover references to something called the Nexus. It seemed to be the crowning achievement of the Odyssey's mission, but details were frustratingly scarce. Dr. Elena Volkov, the elderly Russian scientist who had first remembered rumors of Project Odyssey, spent hours poring over the ship's logs. "It's like they were afraid to even write about it," she mused. "Whatever this Nexus is, it must be incredibly powerful or incredibly dangerous." Weeks turned into months as the research continued. The Galactic Council found itself in a precarious position. The revelations from the Odyssey had upset the balance of power in the galaxy. Some races pushed for immediate implementation of the new technologies, while others urged caution. Ambassador Zorax, once dismissive of humanity, now watched the humans with a mix of grudging respect and suspicion. "You've hidden your true nature well," he said to Sarah during a tense council meeting. "One has to wonder what other secrets your species might be keeping." Sarah met his gaze steadily. "We're as surprised by all this as you are, Ambassador, but we're committed to working with the Council to use this knowledge for the benefit of all." As the research team made breakthrough after breakthrough, strange events began to occur. Equipment would malfunction for no apparent reason. Researchers reported odd dreams and feelings of being watched. And deep within the Odyssey's systems, dormant programs began to stir. One night, as Emily worked late in the lab, all the lights suddenly went out. In the darkness, the holographic display flickered to life on its own. A message appeared, written in ancient human code. "The Nexus awaits. The true test begins." Just as quickly, the message vanished, and the lights returned. Emily stood frozen, her mind racing. What was the Nexus? And what test lay ahead? As she rushed to report her discovery, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of something monumental. The Odyssey had not just changed humanity's place in the galaxy. It had set the stage for a cosmic drama that would determine the fate of all sentient life. The secrets of Project Odyssey were far from fully unlocked, and as the joint research team was about to discover, some secrets were never meant to be uncovered. The true purpose of the Odyssey's mission was about to be revealed, and it would shake the foundations of the universe itself. The Galactic Council's Grand Assembly Hall was packed to capacity. Representatives from every known spacefaring race sat in tense silence as Captain Sarah Chen took the podium. Behind her, a massive holographic display flickered to life, showing the Odyssey in all its glory. "Esteemed members of the Council," Sarah began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "Today, we stand at a crossroads. The discoveries made aboard the Odyssey have the potential to revolutionize life as we know it across the galaxy." As Sarah spoke, the hologram shifted, displaying some of the groundbreaking technologies developed by the Odyssey's crew. A ripple of excitement passed through the audience. However, Sarah continued, her tone growing serious. "With great power comes great responsibility. We must ensure that these advancements are used for the betterment of all sentient life, not as weapons or tools of oppression." In the front row, Ambassador Zorax of the Zorthians fidgeted uncomfortably. His species had long prided themselves on their technological superiority. Now that position was threatened by the very humans they had once mocked. As the presentation concluded, the council erupted into heated debate. Some races pushed for immediate, widespread implementation of the new technologies. Others, like the cautious Luminar, urged a more measured approach. Amidst the chaos, Dr. Emily Zhao and Qinva huddled together, whispering urgently. "We have to tell them about the Nexus," Emily insisted. "It could change everything." Qinva's bioluminescent skin pulsed with concern. "But we still don't fully understand it. Revealing its existence now could cause panic." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion at the back of the hall. A group of Zorthian soldiers burst in, led by none other than Commander Zexlor. "This is an outrage," Zorax bellowed, leaping to his feet. "What is the meaning of this intrusion?" Zexlor marched forward, his face grim. "Forgive me, Ambassador, but I could not, in good conscience, allow this deception to continue." He turned to address the council at large. "Honored representatives, the Zorthian Empire has made a unilateral decision. We have seized control of the Odyssey and its technologies." The hall erupted into pandemonium. Sarah's face paled as she realized the implications. "You can't do this," she shouted over the din. "The Odyssey belongs to all of us." Zexlor's eyes narrowed. "Does it? Or does it belong to the humans who hid its existence for half a century?" "No, Captain Chen. The Zorthian Empire will not allow such power to remain in the hands of newcomers." As accusations flew and tempers flared, Emily and Qinva exchanged worried glances. They knew something the others didn't: the true nature of the Nexus and the danger it posed if mishandled. Suddenly, every screen in the hall flickered and went dark. A moment later, they came back to life, displaying a message in ancient human code. "The Nexus has awakened. The trial begins. All must unite or all will fall." Confusion rippled through the assembly, but for Sarah, Emily, and their team, a chill ran down their spines. The Odyssey's final secret was revealing itself, and it seemed the entire galaxy would be caught in its wake. As the council descended into chaos, Sarah's mind raced. She needed to regain control of the situation, and fast. The fate of not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy, hung in the balance. Silence, the booming voice of Axilthar, the crystalline council president, cut through the noise. All eyes turned to the imposing figure. "This bickering is pointless. We face a threat beyond our comprehension. Captain Chen, Dr. Zhao, explain this Nexus immediately." Sarah took a deep breath and stepped forward. This was not how she had wanted this revelation to unfold, but there was no turning back now. "The Nexus," she began, "is not a weapon or a technology. According to the Odyssey's records, it's a test, a cosmic trial set by an ancient race to judge whether younger species are ready to join them among the stars." Emily chimed in, her voice trembling slightly. "And by uncovering the Odyssey, by pushing the boundaries of our knowledge, we've triggered the start of this trial. The entire galaxy is now part of it, whether we like it or not." A hushed silence fell over the assembly as the implications sank in. The balance of power wasn't just shifting, it was being completely rewritten by forces beyond their control. In that moment of shared uncertainty, even old rivals like the humans and Zorthians found themselves exchanging looks of mutual concern. Whatever challenges lay ahead, it was clear they would have to face them together. As the council grappled with this paradigm-shifting revelation, one thing became abundantly clear: the adventure that had begun with the discovery of a long-lost human ship was far from over. In fact, the true test of humanity, and indeed, all sentient life in the galaxy, was only just beginning. The massive view screen aboard the Odyssey showed a sight that took everyone's breath away. A swirling vortex of energy, beautiful yet terrifying, filled the star-studded void of space. This was the Nexus, the cosmic trial that would determine the fate of all sentient life in the galaxy. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm, her face a mask of determination. Around her, A diverse crew of humans and aliens worked in perfect harmony. The journey to this point had been fraught with danger and discord, but now, united by a common purpose, they faced their greatest challenge together. "All systems are go, Captain," reported Jack Torres, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "The quantum full drive is primed and ready." Sarah nodded, her eyes never leaving the swirling vortex ahead. "Take us in, Mr. Torres." "Nice and easy." As the Odyssey glided towards the Nexus, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought them here. The discovery of the long-lost ship, the revelations about Project Odyssey, the political upheaval, and the ultimate threat that had forced the galaxy to unite. It all seemed like a lifetime ago. The ship shuddered as it entered the vortex. Brilliant colors washed over the bridge, and for a moment, everyone felt a strange sensation, as if their very essence was being examined. Suddenly, a booming voice filled their minds, ancient and powerful. "Welcome, children of the stars. You have reached the Nexus, the crucible of cosmic evolution. Here, you will be tested. Here, your worth will be measured." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Dr. Emily Zhao stepped forward, her voice steadied despite her racing heart. "We're ready for your test. What must we do?" The voice seemed to chuckle, a sound that sent shivers down everyone's spine. "The test has already begun, young ones. Even now, as we speak, your homeworlds face challenges beyond imagination. How you respond will determine your fate." The view screen flickered, showing scenes of chaos across the galaxy. Natural disasters, technological failures, outbreaks of ancient diseases. Every race was facing its worst nightmares. "This is impossible," Ambassador Zorax sputtered, his usual arrogance replaced by fear. "How can we possibly overcome all of this?" Sarah's eyes narrowed as realization dawned. "We don't have to face them alone," she said, her voice rising with conviction. "That's the point of the test. We have to work together, use our combined knowledge and technology to save everyone." As if in response to her words, the Odyssey's systems sprang to life. The advanced technology they had spent months studying suddenly made perfect sense. It wasn't just about power or exploration. It was about bringing hope and aid to those in need. "Xinva," Sarah called out, "use the quantum communicator to coordinate with the Luminar fleet. Their healing technology combined with our medical database could cure those outbreaks." "Zorax," she continued, turning to the once hostile ambassador, "the Zorthian energy shields could protect planets from those solar flares. Will you help?" One by one, each member of the diverse crew found their role. Humans worked alongside aliens. Former enemies became staunch allies, all united in their desperate bid to save the galaxy. Hours blended into days as the Odyssey raced from crisis to crisis. The ship's incredible speed and the crew's combined expertise allowed them to be everywhere they were needed. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. As the last of the disasters was averted, the ancient voice spoke again. "Well done, children of the stars. You have proven yourselves worthy. The age of isolation is over. Welcome to the cosmic community." The vortex around them began to fade, revealing a breathtaking sight. Thousands of ships, of designs beyond imagination, filled the space around them. The advanced races that had set the trial now revealed themselves, ready to welcome the younger species into their fold. On the bridge of the Odyssey, humans and aliens alike cheered and embraced. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious, not through strength or technology alone, but through unity and compassion. As representatives from the elder races began to board the Odyssey, Sarah caught Ambassador Zorax's eye. The Zorthian's expression was one of grudging respect and perhaps a hint of apology. "It seems we may have underestimated you humans," Zorax said quietly, "and perhaps ourselves as well. There is much we can learn from each other." Sarah smiled, extending her hand in a gesture of friendship. "That's what we've been trying to say all along, Ambassador. We're stronger together than we ever could be apart." As human and Zorthian shook hands. A new era dawned for the galaxy. The legacy of Project Odyssey had led not just to humanity's redemption, but to a brighter future for all sentient life. The adventure that had begun with a lost ship had transformed the cosmos itself, and for Captain Sarah Chen and her crew, it was clear that their greatest adventures were only just beginning.